Unprotected by Brett Nelson. Chapter 11. Sheriff Connor pulled into Enoch Lawless's driveway and rolled past the house with a good-natured snicker at the sight of Enoch standing at the door of his barn like a sentry. With rifle in hand, Enoch scowled as the flatbed truck backed into his property and a crew of uniformed men jumped out to attend to the structure that would serve as one of the two official drop-off points. "Why does it surprise me that he would greet his unwanted guest with rifle in hand?" he muttered under his breath as he exited the police cruiser and made his way to the barn. "Stand down, Enoch!" he yelled when he was still a foot away. Enoch glared at him, then turned his attention back to the beehive of workers who, in record time, had unloaded the truck and now worked on assembling the structure. "What are you doing here?" he barked. Sheriff gave him a healthy pat on the back. "Well, I wanted to make sure you behave yourself while they're here." "Does it look like I'm behaving myself?" "Enoch, why don't you put the gun down? Let's go in the house while they work." "I ain't moving a step until all the scum is off my property. Once they're gone, I may march myself out there and torch the place." "You'll do no such thing." He put one hand on the man's arm and wriggled his fingers with the other. "Now, hand over the gun before someone gets hurt." "Nobody'll get hurt unless I think they deserve it. I didn't invite them here, so in my eyes, they're trespassing." Sheriff Connor shifted from one leg to the other. "I said, give me the gun. I won't tell you again." He muttered a guttural profanity, then shoved the weapon into the sheriff's chest so hard that he slammed into the barn wall. Connor grunted at the impact. A few choice words ran through his own mind as he placed the gun on the ground behind him. He massaged a hand across his chest. "Why are you out here causing such a spectacle?" He knew why, but he needed to divert his friend's attention from the happenings on his property. "I told you I wouldn't allow any of this, then I'll be darned if my farm wasn't the first place you sent them when they rolled into town." "I thought we were friends." "I didn't send them here to be ugly and flip you the proverbial bird, and you know that." "Well, it sure feels like it." "I told you after the town meeting a few days ago that your farm was one of the proposed drop-off locations because of the size of your property. By far, you have the largest farm in Bartlett's Bend. I had to submit yours and Old Man Twickham's farms as potential spots because you have the two largest properties. There's no conspiracy here. They chose yours because it was the bigger property of the two. Also, you could corral all your horses and cattle into the small pasture for a few weeks until this is all over, whereas Twickham's property is more open." Enoch's face grew red with rage. "Oh man, Twickham doesn't have to host these fascists because he was lucky enough to have 20 less acres than me? Bah! That's a load of bull and you know it, Connor." "I know it's frustrating, but somebody had to do it." "No, we don't have to do it because our constitutional rights say so. Not that our constitutional rights mean much with this bumbleheaded president of ours. It's called living in a free America where we don't have to allow a bunch of crooked government Nazis to set up on our yards if we don't want them to." Both men whipped around at the sound of a crash, followed by a chorus of shouts. Enoch smiled at the sight of a large pallet of wood lying haphazardly on the ground. "I hope at least one of them had a slow and agonizing death." "Don't say things like that," Connor reprimanded with a shake of his head. "It's like dealing with a 3-year-old who didn't get his way. But at least you can bust a 3-year-old's tail and send them back to their room." "Don't tell me what not to say on my own land, Connor." They alternated between glaring at each other and watching a gang of men pounce on the fallen pallet and rearrange it into a neat stack. "They aren't leaving this eyesore on my property, are they?" "I already told you that this is a temporary situation. Once the confiscations are complete, they'll roll out and take the structure with them. Yeah, and when they're gone, they'll leave ruts and trash and who knows what else. If there are ruts and other damage to your property, I'll make them fix it before they leave. If they won't, the town will pay to fix it, and I'll even send men to do it. One way or the other, we'll leave it the way we found it. You have my word on that. Enoch fixed him with a slightly smaller glare, and Connor knew it was the closest to a thank you that he would receive. How will your men handle all this? There's only 3 of you and 2 drop-off points to confiscate the entire town. If you need help, don't come knocking on my door. He gestured toward the building. Oh, you mark my words. This is all the contribution you'll get from me. We don't need anyone's help. The government will send local military to execute the confiscations. We all do nothing but stand back and watch. Stand back and watch them strip our rights out from under us, you mean? Enoch's posture returned to its previous rigid stance when one of the workers rushed toward them. Gentlemen, I hate to bother you, but one of our men was cut by a sharp piece of splintered wood. I don't suppose you have a bandage and maybe some gauze we could use until we can get him to a doctor? It looks pretty bad. Enoch rushed toward the man until they were chest to chest. I ain't giving you people anything, and you're lucky I ain't tossing you out on your ears. The man didn't step away from Enoch's threatening demeanor as he looked over at Chef Connor with a neutral expression. Connor jerked his head toward the house because he knew Enoch's wife would be more charitable than her husband. Go knock on the door and tell his wife what you need. She'll be happy to oblige you. The man offered a brief nod, then glanced back at Enoch with a steely, almost daring eye lock. Thank you, sir. He took a step back and marched toward the house. Ethel won't give him Jack. Connor gave him a friendly slap on the back. Sure she will, because she's a nicer person than you. It's my property. I'm nice to people who deserve it. I know you're angry, but mind your manners and cut them some slack. These are low-rung men that the government sent to do their dirty work. Dirty work, Enoch grumbled. I couldn't have said it better myself.